3 days after winning the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, Ferrari quietly drove their 2026 F1 car around a circuit that no other team had ever touched. Not a test track, not a familiar circuit. The brand new Madring in Madrid Formula One's newest venue, 2 months before any other team would set foot there. Officially, it was a filming day. Promotional content, a few photos for social media, nothing to worry about. But here is what Ferrari actually did. They found a gap in Formula One's regulations that nobody else spotted, used it to gather exclusive data on the most challenging circuit joining the calendar this year, and did it all for free. And that is only the beginning of what they have planned for the second half of this championship. Let's start with what actually happened in Madrid on July 9th. Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton drove the Ferrari SF26 around the Madring circuit, Formula One's newest venue, replacing Barcelona as the home of the Spanish Grand Prix. The Madring is a 5.416-kilometre semi-permanent street circuit built around the IFEMA exhibition complex. It has 20 corners, it blends public roads with permanent sections. And it has never hosted a Formula One race in its life. The session was classified as Ferrari's second and final promotional filming day of the season. Every F1 team is allowed 2 of these per year, under the regulations limited to 200 kilometers of running split between drivers, using Pirelli demonstration tyres rather than race compounds. The FIA intends these days for marketing and sponsor content, not competitive development. But nowhere in the rulebook does it say a filming day cannot take place at a brand new Grand Prix circuit. Ferrari spotted that detail before anyone else. And the moment they did, they reserved their final filming day for Madrid, months before the championship arrives there on September 13th. Because the Madring needed a real Formula One car to stress test the asphalt, the safety systems, the runoff areas, and the entire operational infrastructure before September, Ferrari gave them exactly that. In exchange, the circuit covered the logistics costs. Ferrari gained exclusive data on a Grand Prix venue. Madrid gained a full operational rehearsal. Both sides got what they wanted without Ferrari spending a single development budget token. The circuit organization confirmed as much publicly, saying the session allowed them to test the asphalt behavior, the circuit's responsiveness, the curbs, the runoff areas, communications, coordination between operational teams, and the performance of track marshals. All of that validation was genuinely needed. Ferrari simply made sure they were the ones doing it. Inside the paddock, it was immediately recognized as one of the smartest uses of Formula One's promotional regulations anyone had seen in years. Teams spend enormous resources trying to understand new circuits. Ferrari understood this one months earlier than everyone else, completely within the rules, at zero cost, using their current championship car. The specific data Ferrari collected matters because of one extraordinary corner, La Monumental. The Madring's signature bank turn stretches approximately 550 meters with 24-degree banking. For context, Zandvoort's famous banking reaches roughly 18 degrees. La Monumental pushes considerably further than that. At racing speeds, the centrifugal force effectively drives the car into the asphalt, creating enormous vertical loads on both the car and tires. Finding the right suspension setup through a corner like that is one of the most critical engineering challenges of the entire race weekend. Run the car too soft and the floor contacts the track surface, disrupting the airflow that generates the car's aerodynamic downforce. Run it too stiff and the car loses grip everywhere else on the lap. The balance point is narrow, and Ferrari now has sensor data showing exactly how the SF26 behaves through it under real-world conditions, while every other team is still working from simulator estimates. That is not a marginal advantage. In modern Formula One, where ground effect aerodynamics means a difference of a few millimeters in ride height can alter performance enormously, having precise measurements of how the car actually moves over the circuit surface is genuinely valuable information. But the Madrid filming day is only the visible part of what Ferrari is preparing for the second half of this championship. The bigger story is what is waiting inside the factory in Maranello right now, and why it has Mercedes genuinely concerned. For much of the 2026 season, Ferrari's greatest frustration has been easy to identify. The SF26 is one of the strongest chassis on the grid through medium and high-speed corners. The problem arrives when circuits open onto long straights. Mercedes pulls away. Their power unit is superior, and no amount of aerodynamic cleverness fully compensates for horsepower you simply do not have on a long straight. Ferrari knew this was coming into the season, and they have been working on the solution ever since. Formula One's regulations include a performance catch-up mechanism. After the governing body evaluated engine performance this season, Ferrari's power unit was judged to be more than 4% below the established benchmark. That triggered additional development freedom allowances unavailable to manufacturers already operating at the front. Ferrari has already used one relatively modest improvement. The far larger development has been deliberately held back. Waiting in Maranello is a completely redesigned turbocharger, internal blade geometry, new materials, refined compressed air delivery to the engine. The objective is not a small gain. It is parity with Mercedes on the straights, and it is scheduled to debut immediately after the summer shutdown. If the turbo performs as Ferrari's engineers expect, the timing could not be more strategically significant. After the summer break, Formula One heads to Zandvoort and then directly to Monza, Ferrari's home race, one of the fastest circuits in world motorsport, a track where long straights and heavy braking punish any manufacturer that cannot produce competitive horsepower. Earlier this season, Ferrari arrived at circuits like Monza, knowing they would spend much of the weekend managing Mercedes' straight-line advantage. This year, that calculation could be completely different. Mercedes faces an uncomfortable reality on the other side of this. Confident in its own power unit's strength, the team reportedly did not spend its available development token. While Ferrari climbed toward the benchmark, Mercedes stood largely still. Championship battles rarely reward that kind of complacency. The tension between the two teams has already spilled into public view. When Toto Wolff questioned whether Ferrari could continue introducing so many upgrades while staying within the cost cap, Ferrari team principal Fred Vasseur pushed back sharply. His point that Ferrari's progress attracted suspicion while Mercedes' innovation was praised as genius reflected how seriously both organizations now view the threat the other represents. Lando Norris, watching from outside, put it bluntly when discussing Ferrari's engine progress: it could allow them to embarrass everyone. Ferrari is currently 78 points behind Mercedes in the Constructors' Championship. Hamilton is third and Leclerc fourth in the drivers' standings. On paper, they are the chasers. But paper does not account for what is sitting in Maranello right now, or for the exclusive data Leclerc and Hamilton collected in Madrid while every other team was focused on the race they just finished. The Madrid filming day was the first visible sign of a much larger plan. Exclusive circuit knowledge, a redesigned turbocharger targeting the one weakness that has held Ferrari back all season. A high downforce aerodynamic package reportedly planned for Zandvoort, and a team that has clearly decided the second half of this season is where the championship is actually going to be decided. When Formula One returns from the summer break, Mercedes will not simply be defending against the Ferrari it has been racing for the last several months. It may be facing a completely different car. Whether Ferrari can turn that potential into a championship is the most compelling story the second half of 2026 has to offer. Do you think Ferrari's upgrades can close the gap on Mercedes, or is 78 points too much to come back from? Drop it in the comments. And if you want to follow the championship battle as it builds toward the end of the season, hit subscribe